This is your macroeconomics video for calculating the Consumer Price Index. So the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, is the main way that the government measures inflation. So now we're going to talk about how that's calculated, and it's kind of a lengthy process. So first, the government has to determine what they're going to put into the fictional market basket. They call this fixing the market basket. They're predetermining how many units of each good they think the average family is going to purchase during their measuring period. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics uses surveys to ask customers what they're buying. They also can get really good data from companies on which things people are buying or which things are selling quickly. The market basket includes hundreds of thousands of products. So let's say they think that in the next 3 months, the average family is going to buy 2 pounds of ground beef, 4 loaves of bread, 3 gallons of milk, and then they're also going to buy, let's say, $150 worth of clothing, or they're going to pay a certain amount of car payment. Now, the family might not buy a whole car every 3 months, but let's say they purchase 0.2 of a car. So they also are prefixing the quantity of each product that they think the average family will buy. Once they've pre-decided the quantities in the market basket, then they send out employees to find the prices. And the BLS sends employees to figure out all sorts of various prices in different cities all around the country. And then they come back and they come up with the average of the prices. So they're going to look at ground beef at different stores in different cities, big cities and small cities, and they're going to come up with the average price of ground beef. Then they're going to compute the market basket's cost. So they take the average prices that they just found and they multiply it by the quantity. Remember, the quantity was preset in the market basket by the government. And then, of course, you have to add all of the goods together. This gives you a dollar amount, which is the basket's cost. In real life, there's hundreds of thousands of products, so this value is a very, very large dollar amount. No actual family could buy all of this stuff in any one 3-month period, but it's just used as a fictional way to figure out how much things cost. Now, once they've computed the market basket, they also then weight the various categories of CPI. So this is an example of weighting. So it looks here like housing costs are 43% of the average family's monthly expenditures. So they're going to take everything related to housing and weight that 43%. Food and beverage is next at 15.8, transportation at 15.31. You can also see that there's things like medical and healthcare, education, also recreation and entertainment, all various things that would be in the CPI's market basket. This weighting is similar to how some of the gradebooks in your classes are weighted. Some teachers weight quizzes or tests or homework at various levels. So not only are they putting the prices or the point value of each assignment, but then they're also weighting it comparatively to other categories. Same thing that the government does here with CPI. Once you have the market basket, then in order to calculate the CPI, you have to pick a base year, and then you can compute the actual CPI or index of that year. So the base year, or to calculate CPI, you would just take the value of the cost of the basket in the current year that's in the question, divide it by the basket cost of the base year, and multiply it by 100. CPI is not a percentage, it's just a number. It's typically somewhere between 50 and 300, but it doesn't have to be. And it is just a number, it's not a percentage, and it's not a dollar amount. The basket cost is a dollar amount. Now you'll notice here that if you're trying to come up with the CPI of a base year, it is going to be both the current and base. So you're dividing it by itself and multiplying by 100. That means the base year CPI will always be 100. And in fact, the base year of any price index will always be 100. That's an easy way for you to calculate and do math in your head if they're trying to figure out if inflation has gone up or down compared to a base year. Now, if you're trying to compare the base year to a different year, you will have to calculate the inflation rate. Remember, inflation is just the percentage change in two CPIs. So you take the CPI of a base year and the CPI of a second year and find the percentage change between those numbers. The green box here shows your inflation rate percentage, but it's the exact same equation as percentage change. The difference in the two value divided by the earlier or first of the two values, and you multiply it by 100. Inflation rate is a percentage, so you should have to calculate that as a percentage for it to be correct.